When a person is having a conversation with a colleague or team member that they suspect may be difficult for the other person to hear, and perhaps also difficult for them to say, there are some techniques that they can use to minimize the reactiveness of that conversation and help to address the issue to be discussed. You may have heard of the saying, separate the person from the problem and focus on the problem. That's what these techniques aim to do. Start by being very intentional about how you set up the room. Set up the seating so that you and the other person are sitting at a 90-degree angle. Sitting directly across from the other person is the worst setup. If you are in a meeting room, then pre-set it up so that you have some visual cues, like a glass of water, a notepaper, perhaps your jacket over the back of the chair. That visually indicates where you are going to sit. Once you enter into the room, these visual cues already indicate to the other person where each of you will sit. Once you start the conversation, it is useful to have something visual for both of you to look at when you are talking about the issue. This is where an internal policy can be used, or some kind of document or report or previous email you have sent with the relevant content on it. But if you have nothing, then you can use a blank piece of paper. Draw a circle in the middle of the paper and write the issue to be discussed in the circle. Place the paper between the two of you so that it is not in front of you or the other person. This creates a neutral third point. While you are talking about the issue, keep your eyes on the paper. Generally, the other person will look where you look. When you're ready to discuss solutions with the other person, you can re-engage eye contact.
Thanks, Mike, for coming to talk to me today. So I wanted to discuss a little issue with you about being late to work.
Well, I don't understand where this is coming from. I mean, I often work late to make up for it and I get all my work done, so I don't see what the problem is.
Be specific about the issue. Telling someone they're late to work can be interpreted differently by different people and also have a negative connotation, which can result in a person feeling attacked. So instead, write starting time in the middle of the page and then discuss with the other person as factually as possible what you have observed. Use third-person language where possible so as not to attack the person but focus on the problem.
Hi Mike, thanks for coming in to talk to me. So I wanted to talk to you today about your start time.
Sure, what about it?
Well, the role of the person is to start at 8:30 to be answering calls, but I noticed in the last 2 months this hasn't been happening till 9 a.m. Can you explain why?
Well, I'm surprised you had time to notice, given your start time. Do you also notice that I stay back late and that I make sure all my work is finished, or are you too busy getting after work drinks?
Excuse me, we're not talking about my role, and that's none of your business. It's not my job in jeopardy.
People can still have an emotional response, and it is the role of the person having the difficult conversation to stay calm. Remain in the credible voice pattern and remember to breathe deeply, which non-verbally is read by the other person as you being comfortable and willing and able to have this difficult conversation. One of the easiest ways to help slow down your breathing and that of the person is to make a cup of tea.
I'm surprised you noticed that I start at that time, considering what time you start. Did you also notice that I stay back late and that I make sure that I get all my work done, or are you too busy getting drinks after work?
Okay. So look, the issue is actually around the start time. So the phone lines open at 8:30 a.m. So if they're not being answered until 9 a.m, that's a half an hour window where people's calls are going unanswered. So what I'd like to happen is, if you cannot start till 9 a.m, for any reason, I would like you to text me at least half an hour before 8:30 so that I can have time to arrange someone else to come in for the start time of the phones. It's a requirement that the phones are answered from 8:30. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So look, going forward, if this continues to happen, we're going to have further conversations about it as the phone lines do open at 8:30, and I need you to let me know if you can't make that time. So do you have any further questions about the start times, or about sending me a text message to confirm when you'll be available?
No.
Okay, wonderful. So look, what we'll do is, from here, I'll follow up in a week or so, and I'm glad that you're aware and you understand.
Yeah.
Fantastic.